Welcome back to Master 79. Today we are taking one ielts writing task 2 question all the way from a blank page to a band 9 answer. You will see the thinking, the brainstorm, the plan, and the full essay. Here is the question. In today's world of advanced science and technology, we still greatly value our artists such as musicians, painters, and writers. What can the arts tell us about life that science and technology cannot? Read it twice before you write anything at all. Unpack it properly. This is a direct question. There is one question and therefore one job. The premise is handed to you. Artists are still valued, so do not waste words arguing about that. Notice the phrase, tell us about life. Your answer has to be about human experience. And notice the word cannot. You must name a real limit of science, not simply praise the arts. Now the trap. Most answers stall around band 6 because they turn this into a contest, art versus science, which one is better? The question never asked you to rank them. Do not list what artists do, do not attack science, and do not float in abstraction for 300 words. One concrete illustration in each body paragraph will fix that. Five minutes of brainstorming in 2 columns. On the left, what the arts can reach, what experience feels like from inside. Moral imagination, meaning and value, ambiguity, cultural memory. On the right, what science does best. Mechanism, measurement and prediction, evidence that survives testing, describing what is rather than what ought to be. Your essay lies in the gap between those 2 columns. From the brainstorm, one thesis. The arts disclose the interior texture of human experience and the values by which people decide what a life is for. 2 things empirical inquiry is not designed to reach. Pick the sharpest line you can defend, not the safest one. The plan is 4 paragraphs and no wasted sentences. Introduction, about 50 words, paraphrase and thesis. Body 1, about 100 words, subjective experience. Body 2, about 100 words, value and meaning. Conclusion, about 50 words. 2 minutes on this plan saves you 10 minutes of rewriting. The introduction. Even in an era defined by scientific breakthrough and technological convenience, societies continue to honor their musicians, painters, and novelists. In my view, the arts disclose something empirical inquiry is not designed to reach. The interior texture of human experience and the values by which people decide what a life is for. Body 1. The most immediate of these is what it actually feels like to be someone else. Science can describe grief with remarkable precision, the hormonal cascade, the disrupted sleep, the statistical arc of recovery, yet none of that description places a reader inside the experience. A novel or a piece of music does exactly that. It suspends the distance between observer and subject so that a listener in one century can feel the loss of a stranger in another. This imaginative inhabitation is the foundation of moral sympathy, and no dataset produces it. Body 2. Equally important is the question of what matters, which is categorically different from the question of what is the case. Science can establish that a river is polluted, cost its restoration, and model the consequences of inaction. It cannot, on its own terms, tell us that the river is worth saving. Judgments of that kind are formed through the stories a culture tells and the images it keeps, which is why a single painting or protest song can shift public feeling more decisively than a technical report. The arts do not supply evidence, they supply significance. And the conclusion. I would therefore argue that the arts and the sciences answer different questions rather than competing ones. Technology explains and extends the world we inhabit. Art tells us how that world is experienced from within and why any of it should matter to us at all. Here is the whole essay on one screen, 292 words. Pause the video now and read it straight through. Watch how each paragraph does exactly one job and how the last sentence answers the question the first sentence set up. A language bank. Lift the patterns, not the sentences. In an era defined by, is not designed to reach, cannot on its own terms tell us, categorically different from the question of what is the case. And the closing move, answer different questions rather than competing ones. Rebuild each of these with your own topic tonight. Why would this sit at band 9? Task response. One clear position held throughout. Coherence and cohesion. 4 purposeful paragraphs held together by reference and structure rather than a rack of linking words. Lexical resource. Precise natural collocation without strain. And grammar. A wide range with no errors that impede meaning. One honest caveat. This is my own internal quality check against the public ielts band descriptors. It is not a score from a certified examiner. Your turn. Right body 2 using a different illustration. A building, a language, a piece of land. Give yourself 40 minutes and 260 words. Post your thesis sentence in the comments and I will read every single one. Subscribe to bmaster79 and I will see you in the next lesson.